And that's the thing. It was so interesting this season because you have Benedict trying to find a way to have that relationship with Sophie, and it looked like it was getting there, and then it looked like it was pulling back. And then it's like it's like other people getting involved, of his brother telling him, it's like, you can't do this. Like,
yeah, one reservation I have. I understand comparing the books to the TV show is comparing apples to oranges, which are still fruits, so I'm gonna do it. Okay?
Have a pineapple.
Yes, spiky fruit. The one thing about the... I'm losing my train of thought. Choo-choo, there it goes. One thing that was very different from the book and the television show that works for the TV show, because there's a lot that's different, even though they stuck very closely to the book, was that Benedict never made a promise to not marry. He was just like, I'm gonna have to marry eventually, Sophie. He feels Sophie's being unfair by saying, because you can never marry me, I will not be your mistress. And he's like, well, that's absurd. Which also points out the privilege that is in his fuddy-duddy head. But in the show, because they really did romanticize him and soften him, and it worked in this circumstance, he genuinely is like, solution, I shan't take a wife. Duh, I solved it. But that's still not enough, because not taking a wife is not the same as legitimizing in the eyes of the law their marriage. And that's the whole reason why she is in this subservient role, because she was not born in the legitimate eyes of the law.
No.
And also, it's like him saying he won't take a wife is the same as in season 1 when he was like, I'm not going to have any kids.
Right.
So there's the equivalent there.
But the difference there is that Anthony had a life-threatening fear of, I'm sorry, not Anthony, Simon. You know,
Simon.
Like of his father, because his father was so cripplingly abusive.
Yes.
And so, like, that was his revenge on the father, but he was also taking revenge on himself and any happiness that he could have. That being said, for people making choices about children, we are now in a place where we have a lot more information and, you know, make it from a place of strength, not a place of revenge.
Yeah.
But the other thing I wanted to say about the book Brothers is that, like, TV, Anthony became a mouthpiece for society, and so did Violet. Violet also became a mouthpiece for society, as opposed to their book counterparts, who were like, it's all about the person, go for the one you love. But there was an excellent scene that I'm so sad didn't make it in. I guess it kind of happened earlier in the seasons, but the brothers are sword fighting. They're sword fighting, and he's fencing with Colin and Anthony, expressing his frustrations, and Colin and Anthony are like, you're being dumb. Just go be with the woman you love. Like, they're so love-saturated in the books that they are also willing to defy society. But because the show is like, no, let's look at what things were like in that timeline, minus the other adjustments we made, they really returned Anthony to that harsh character that he was in season 1. And Colin was just having bromance with his brothers-in-law, which was adorable because you do hear about it in the books. But Colin was such background in this that I forget he had scenes in it. And I really wanted to see that sword fighting scene, so I missed it. R.I.P.
Yeah.